Hello, welcome everyone to the cover reveal of Root and Bone, the first book in the Spencer Sisters series by Jessica Raney. Jessica, welcome this evening. How are you doing?
I'm amazing.
Excellent. We are so excited for this cover reveal. I have to say, I sent it to you, and the what's it called? The title on the email? Subject
line, yeah.
The subject from the email just said, "Holy shit," and I sent the cover to her.
Yep.
So y'all know what we're talking about. Let's reveal the cover. Look at that. Holy moly. Look at that cover.
Yeah. So it's amazing. I couldn't have asked for anything better.
It's just incredible. So, I mean, Molly Phipps just knows exactly what she's doing. So, yeah, Ethan loves the cover. Jen does too. It is phenomenal. Florida, it is stunning. Thank you, Andy. Yep, Jay says stunning too. That is definitely the word for it. It is stunning. Thank you, Kimball. So, we want to go a little bit about this cover before, because I want to ask, about some of the symbolism in this cover, because it's quite remarkable what she's done. But first, I want to read the back cover copy so people know a little bit about what we're talking about. So, Leona Monroe.
Oh, sorry about that. Hang on. Let me mute my mic real quick.
Leona Monroe and her sister, Jewel Spencer, live in Ames, a sleepy little Appalachian town where nothing much happens. When it does, everyone knows everything. At least they think they do. The Spencer sisters have more insight. They come from a long line of granny women, healers, confidence keepers, and powerful magic wielders, able to see into the future, manipulate the natural world around them, and commune with the dead. When a girl is brutally murdered, it's clear the local law enforcement has no idea what's really at play. So it falls on Leona and Jewel to dig deeper into the mystery. In the middle of the investigation, strangers come to Ames who prove powerful and dangerous, setting Leona and Jewel at odds with dark magic, vengeful ghosts, and each other. With the help of a friendly spirit, the vast knowledge of their mentor, Granny K, and their own powerful magic, Leona and Jewel must work together to counter the evil descending upon their town. But their insecurities and fears prevent them from stopping another murder. They need to get it together. If their magic and sister bond isn't strong enough, their town will fall to darkness, along with everything they hold dear. So this is incredible. Now, this world, Jessica, this world is not new to you. Can you tell us a little bit about this world?
Yeah, so this book is in my Tooth and Nail universe, we'll call it that way. So I have a 3-book series that's self-published, with the first book being Tooth and Nail, and it follows a woman named Delilah Monroe as she navigates like a criminal underworld, and kind of follows her through from her young times till her older times, we'll say. And this book is a prequel to that. So somebody who's really important to Del in her life is her grandma. Also, my grandma was very important to me, so it's kind of fun to play on that. But anyway, this book is set in 1955. It's a prequel, and we look and see Del's grandmother when she's a young woman, early on in her magical career. And you get to meet all sorts of characters, and we introduce some of the monsters. You see where some monsters, I guess, some of the species of monsters come from. So it's a lot of fun. It was a fun book to write. It's been a long book to write. It's been around for a little while. Mm-hmm. Been through many awesome editing sessions, which made it a whole lot better. I think I wrote this like during COVID or right before COVID. It was during COVID, I think. So it's been around a while, but it's definitely changed hands. It's been through a critique group. I see one of my old critique partners on here too. I'm actually from that group. So it's a far different book than what they saw. Not far different, I guess, but a lot of different things in it. And I'm really excited about it. Jewel and Leona. So Leona is Del's grandma, and Jewel is her great aunt. And if you read the 3rd book in the Tooth and Nail series, you already know Aunt Jewel. Now you'll see Jewel as a young woman who is really not so different than Jewel as an old woman.
She is not changed.
She's just spry. Is all.
That's right. She's just younger. That's right.
And it was a lot of fun to write. They're they remind me of my grandma and her sisters. My grandma was part of a really big family, like 12 kids, and she has a lot of sisters, or had a lot of sisters. And they all kind of had this special bond amongst them. And that's what really was on my mind when I wrote it. One aunt in particular, but they're not like copies of those people. If you were looking for their personalities in Leona and Jewel, they're not there other than the strength and the bond. They're on their own, but they're a handful. They were my grandma and her sisters were a handful in life, and Jewel and Leona are also a handful. So.
Well, it's funny seeing these two very powerful women living in a world where women don't have much power. So it's a very interesting dichotomy they're trying to live in. So I love that part of the aspect. The book is very layered, and I really like that. But I want to talk about the cover too. So a little bit about the cover, which might be why the cats were so upset, because we do have a kitty cat skull on the top. Not that that's specifically important, but the whole point is that, they use magic, and some magic is kind of distasteful. So there are other things going on.
I'll go ahead, and there's no spoiler alert in this. No cats were harmed in the making. Well, some were harmed, I suppose. But no cats are harmed in the book. I know that's important for me to note there. I don't think I kill any animals in this book that weren't already dead.
Actually, I don't think you do. So that is so just so you know.
The cat skull is not important other than the book is called Root and Bone. And I think that Molly took the idea of a witch's familiar as a cat and put it in here. And I love that. I absolutely love it.
And it's crowned. I mean, come on.
It's a crowned cat skull. Obviously, everyone in this house thinks they're a little princess, so it's appropriate. But you see, like, the magic stuff in there. You see, like, a little pouch. You see runes. Runes are important to their magic. And then the herbs are important. And so the flower that you see there, there's two different ones. I'm not sure what the other one is because I'm not a flower person, but I know what a marigold is. A marigold, also a calendula, is important in this book. So they were my grandma's, one of her very favorite flowers. She always had marigolds growing somewhere in her garden or on her little porch or wherever. She always had marigolds, and she would help us plant them in the spring. So I always remember that, and marigolds remind me of her. But also, they're important magically, and there's a lot of uses for them, like herbally, I guess. I'm not an herb person. I'm reading about them, but I'm not an expert. So they're important in the book, and they are gorgeous on the cover. So I'm really excited.
Excellent. Yeah, Fawn says that's very touching. It is. It's very touching. So it's kind of cool how much this all like who you are is put into this fictional world in a very creative way. And I love it. It's probably what drew me to the book to begin with. But I know that you have a sample for us today, a reading sample. Do you need to set it up for us?
So it's not in the beginning of the book. There won't be any spoilers except the dog that dies at the end of the reading because he's barking.
That's nonfiction version of this book.
It's nonfiction. No dogs are harmed in the book either. This one is upset because he's going to jail tomorrow. He's going to dog jail tomorrow, and now he will go to dog jail with no prejudice. I'm not at all upset about it. So this is just to give you a flavor of the people in the book. This is a scene where Leona and Jewel are going to visit Granny Kay, and they have things they need to know. So when they need to know things they don't know, they go find Granny Kay. So this is where the scene. Leona and Jewel hiked up and over the hill, then descended into the familiar holler that evoked comfort and safety as soon as they stepped off the trail and into the green wonderland, just as it had from the first day they'd seen it so many years ago. Granny Kay kept spectacular herb and magic gardens. Even in the late fall weather, things grew all around, wild-looking but controlled by Granny Kay's expert hand. Birds were plentiful and chirped happy little bird songs as a pleasant breeze riffled the orange and gold leaves all around. The grass was soft underfoot and well tended by the goats and the donkey. He trotted over when he saw the girls emerge from the woods, snorted and brayed at Jewel, then nickered at Leona and lowered his head for his customary ear scratching. "That thing is a menace," Jewel said. She eyed him warily and kept her distance. Jewel had had more than a few bites from the donkey over the years. "Well, he's a useful menace," Granny Kay said. The old woman knelt in her garden, planting some fall bulbs. Her bright white hair shimmered and shone in the crisp fall sunshine, and her blue eyes sparkled. She smiled at them and raised her ancient body up from the ground. He keeps bears away and any other unsavory types that would like to wander in here. She hugged Leona, then looked over her glasses at Joel. Someday you might find yourself needing a menacing donkey. You've always been one to cultivate incivility, Joel. She hugged Joel, then rapped her on the head. You best stop poisoning your husband. That ain't the way to manage a man. How do you know about that? Joel asked. I got my ways, Granny K said. There's ways of looking out that you ain't bothered to know yet. You keep drugging people like that, and sooner or later you'll make a mistake and kill them dead. Well, that night might not be a mistake, Joel said. Joel Elizabeth Spencer, that better be just your smart mouth and not how you really see it. Magic can come and magic can go if you don't act right. Maybe it goes when you need it the most, so you best be careful about how you treat it. You don't use it so you can go dance in the jitterbug out at the honky-tonk and ignore your home duties. Well, what if I don't want them home duties? Joel asked. She crossed her arms and pouted. Granny K elbowed Leona and cackled. Looky there. Joel, you best pull that lip back in before a little birdie comes along and poops right on it. She pointed a gnarled finger at Joel. You don't want them home duties? Then ditch that man proper. He ain't that easy to shake, Joel said. That's why you have to be cautious about them. She turned her attention to Leona. The old woman felt around Leona's bruised eye and cheek. You as well, Leona May. Leona nodded. Yes, ma'am. Well, come on inside and have some tea. We'll sort both you girls out, I expect. Inside the little cottage was warm and cozy. Every manner of herb hung drying in the rafters. Granny K's workbench was full of jars and projects, and the whole place smelled earthy and herbaceous with a tinge of magic prickling at the nose. A little fire crackled in the hearth, and Granny K had a kettle going in no time. She moved around her space deftly. Joel and Leona sat at the table in their own spots, the ones they'd sat in for years, as Granny K tutored them in lore and magic, Joel on the left, Leona on the right. Kay put the tea down for them and gave them each a cookie. Then she sat in the middle. Now, tell me what trouble you girls have gotten up to. Ba, ba, ba.
And trouble they've definitely gotten up to.
Yes, they had gotten up to trouble at that point, and they will get into more trouble.
Even more. Yeah, LRB says, don't stop now. Sorry, you're just going to have to get your copy. So for Jessica, for people who are interested in early ARC reader copies, where can people follow you?
You can go to my website. It's jessicaraney.com. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I occasionally put a video. I like putting cat videos on TikTok, but I don't do much on there, I guess. And then I will put out a post on my Facebook for anybody that wants an ARC copy. I will be glad to give you one.
Excellent, excellent. So that will be up soon. Ethan wants to know, is this a one-shot or a series?
It's a series. There'll be 3 at least.
At least, if I have my say, there'll be a few more. There are so many stories in this world. I'm so excited. Yes, Jay says that she demands one. She demands an early copy. Of course, of course. So once we get those all formatted, Jessica will let you know. And anyone else, if you want copies of either of the books that we have just revealed today, please make sure you can join our Discord, cursedragonship.com/Discord. And when they are available, we always announce on there so that you can get a copy. Any last words?
No, I'm just really excited for this book to come out. I'm really excited to finally get it into the hands of readers so I can hear about what you think of the world. It's women in 1955. You couldn't even have a bank account of your own in 1955 if you lived here in the United States of America. And Joel and Leona operate in a world that doesn't want them to operate on all accounts. So it's really a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun with monsters in this. I have a lot of fun with magic, which I didn't use a lot of magic in Tooth and Nail, a little bit here and there. This is heavy on the magic, and it's a lot of fun to solve problems, and it's heavy on the ghosts. Light horror, not horror that if you don't like gory, gruesome stuff, you'll be able to handle this, but also probably enough horror and suspense that you will like it. If you're a fan of Charlaine Harris, you will like this book.
Yeah, it's urban fantasy, not in an urban setting. So it's really, really cool and unique, and I love it. And I can't wait till all of you get to read it as well. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for being with us as we try these grand experiments. And we'll see you next time.